If you want to have a loyal team of virtual assistants who stay with you for years and they are dedicated to their role, then you don't want to miss this episode. It's not enough to just hire the right person. Retaining that person is just as important. And if good people, good A players, they have options elsewhere because they're being treated more fairly, most likely they will leave. So what can you do as an employer, as a manager? What can you do to get the best out of your people, but also to give them the best from your end? We're going to look into the 3 types of meetings that, again, I have with my team and I recommend everyone to have it. Hi, my name is Valentina Brega. I am the host of the show Built with VAs, and in this show we talk everything about virtual assistants and how you can scale your business with international remote workers. And what we're discussing today is the 3 types of meetings that I have with my team and that I recommend to the companies we work with so they have with their team. And we have seen amazing results with that. It's not enough to just hire the right person. Retaining that person is just as important. And if good people, good A players, they have options elsewhere because they're being treated more fairly, most likely they will leave. So what can you do as an employer, as a manager? What can you do to get the best out of your people, but also to give them the best from your end? So let's talk about that. We're going to look into the 3 types of meetings that, again, I have with my team and I recommend everyone to have it. Because let's be honest, building a cohesive team, that's not an easy task. And especially if they're remote, when you don't have that face-to-face interaction, when you don't have a cooler where you can share stories, where you greet people, and it's just, it's a lot more complicated. But there are ways to work with remote teams very successfully. So the first meeting that we have is the daily huddle. And we like to meet every day. Now, we used to do them more often at the beginning, but now we just switched that to a weekly meeting because by now my team has been with me for years and they are very well versed into what they have to do and what their role is. But if you're just starting out, I highly encourage you to have a daily huddle. Let's talk about that. The daily huddle should be maybe about 15 minutes, and we do this the first thing in the morning. Right now we do it on Mondays, but before we used to do it every morning. So the purpose of this daily huddle is to have a quick sync up on your roles, your vision, and just to keep the team aligned. This is how we usually do it. We start with positive news. We say, hey, share something positive or share a good thing about that happened to you since yesterday, or maybe you read something. We want to share with positive news, or greet somebody or compliment someone or something like that. For example, if somebody gets a haircut, it's like, oh, your hair looks so nice, right? Or just something like that. But you want to set a tone to make it, just to set a positive tone. Because look, every business has issues. Every business is not always 100% aligned with their metrics and everything. So, but don't focus on those yet. Be constructive when it comes to how to fix business issues, but your team needs to feel inspired and needs to feel uplifted so they can tackle those issues. So we like to start with a positive tone. And then everybody goes around and says one thing that they're working on this week. So we ask them, what do you want to accomplish by the end of this week? So the person, for example, in our company, the person who runs interviews with virtual assistants or who places job ads, she says, by the end of the week, I hope to have our jobs posted on this many platforms, and I'm hoping to get this many candidates, and I'm hoping to do this, right? So what do they want to achieve by the end of this week? And everybody goes around very quickly and they say what they want to achieve. And then we break it down. Okay, so what do you have to focus on today to get you that level? So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to post here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, great. So everybody goes around, says that. And then we also say, what do you need? Are there any obstacles? Is there anything that's stopping you from achieving what you said you could achieve? And a lot of the times it could be maybe I'm waiting for somebody's decision on a certain matter. I'm waiting for some clarifications on a particular task, something like that. It can happen. So, and then we discuss, how can I clear the roadblocks? How can I make it easier for you to accomplish what is said that you will accomplish by the end of the week or by the end of the day? So very quick, 15 minutes, share a few laughs, talk about the goal for the day, what is the focus, and then clarify any misunderstandings or, clear the road for any obstacles. Now, the second type of meeting is the weekly meeting. Now, before we go into that, let me tell you one thing. I am not a fan of meetings overall because my time I could be spent somewhere else doing something else. However, it is important to take time out of a busy schedule, I know how busy you are, to train your team because you're chasing customers, you're chasing clients, for example, but you're forgetting about your internal clients. And your internal clients is your team. These are the people that work for you. Because if they're happy and if they know exactly what to do and how to do it, then they will take care of your external clients. So you have to take care of your internal clients, and you have to put some time and pour into them, pour your time, your energy into your people. So like I said, I don't particularly like meetings, but I understand how important they are. And that's why I try to limit them, and I try to have an agenda for every meeting. So for the daily huddle that I just mentioned, I try not to keep it more than 15 minutes. That's it, like 15 minutes, wish people happy birthday if someone's birthday, share some good news, all that. But it means a lot to the people on my team. Now, the second type of meeting, this is when we go more granular. Typically, we spend about an hour here, and I don't meet with everyone. I have a bigger team. Now, if you have a smaller team, you might want to just have everybody be involved in that meeting. But because I have a bigger team, we meet with our leadership team. So only the heads of the different departments. And we talk about any issues, any obstacles. We go granular into some of the things that we face as a business and how we can take care of that. So the whole purpose of a weekly meeting is to look at KPIs, is to make sure that we're on track with where we want to be. And this is how we structure that. We, of course, start with the positive tone. Again, we try to always start with a positive tone. Me and my team, we meet on Mondays, again, Monday morning. So again, we share how the weekend was, anything new, and anything different. And then we talk about good things that happened the previous week business-wise. How many calls we had, how many good reviews we had on Google, what do people say, any good matches that we made, anything, all the positives that we want to share with the team. We do that because, again, it sets the right tone. Or if it's the end of the month, we talk about how previous month went, how we're comparing this month to the same month of last year, just to show the growth, or again, find something that works. We don't always have great weeks. We don't always have, great months. I mean, it happens. It's you probably have the same, but you do find something to talk about. Good. For example, whenever we have a difficult week, for instance, right, I want to give praise to my team for navigating that like pros and like professionals, and for finding solutions, and just you can always find good things to talk about and uplift your team. So the weekly meeting start with positive tone, positive things, and then we review our KPIs. Okay, let's see where we are. This is what we did last week. This is what we did the week before. Are we trending upward, back, downwards? What's happening? Okay, so we look at the KPIs. We identify any issues, and then we discuss the issues and we try to solve them. What is the next step? You're not going to solve the issue right then and there, but then what is the next step? Here's a little maybe potential pitfall that people can fall into. A lot of people want to discuss new ideas at this meeting. And let's be honest, we always love shiny objects, and your team can say, hey, we can do this, we can do that. I saw a competitor doing this, we could do the same, which is great. We do leave some time for ideas in this meeting as well, but I want to make sure that we are the best at what we're doing right now. We are honing the craft that we have been known for, and that we bring a better product and bring better service to our clients than anyone else. So focus on issues, focus on what needs to be fixed, and then leave some time for ideas later on. So again, the structure is we start with positive news, then we look into KPIs, then we look into issues, and what is the next step for the issue? What do we have to do until next week to take action on this issue? What needs to happen? How long will it take us to fix this? What kind of people need to be involved into fixing this? So once we have a good understanding of those issues, and if the business has a ton of issues, just limit yourself to maybe discussing 3-4 issues, but stay focused on those, the ones that have more priority. And then discuss ideas, and then discuss, hey, maybe that would be cool. Okay, let's put that on the back burner, but we can get to that. Maybe that could be your incentive. Maybe that could be your reward. Let's get to that once we finished these important issues that right now, and then we can look into the new idea and analyze it and see if it works for us. So the structure of this meeting we actually got from the book Traction, and it's a L10 meeting, level 10 meeting. And this is what I have with the heads of different departments. We have an L10 meeting where we follow this structure. And the third type of meeting that I like to have is usually once a month, but now lately it's been once a quarter, but at least once a quarter, if you can, meet one-on-one with your people. And I love having one-on-one. Again, I don't have a meeting without an agenda, so I do have some questions prepared that I want to ask, but the agenda of this meeting is to get to know them personally, outside of work, to get to know them maybe like, what do you like? What don't you like? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? How am I helping you to achieve your goal? I completely understand understand that my team might not be with me in the next 5 years or 10 years. I understand that maybe I am just an important step in their career development, and I encourage that and I support that. I want my team to be happy. I want them to reach their goals. And if I can help them achieve that, then that'll be great, because they will always think highly of me. They might, if they have to leave at some point, I know they will put another person in place to take care of their tasks. So it's very good to have that relationship and to have that loyalty that goes both ways. Yours towards your people and your people towards you. So that's very important. So we have those one-on-one questions, and I ask them about their goals, about, different things. I even elevate them to the level of an expert. I say, if we were to hire a person for this team, what kind of person do you think would be good for this team? And I want my virtual assistant to tell me, I think you deserve a person who has integrity, who has this, who's passionate, who's hardworking. Why do you think we deserve that? Because that's how everybody else is in this company. I agree. And you see now, because the virtual assistant said that means they believe this. He or she believes this wholeheartedly. And because they believe it, that means they will act that way themselves. And you're creating a more positive culture and a more effective culture within your company. So I actually have amazing questions for one-on-one. I have a previous episode on this show dedicated entirely to how I run my one-on-ones, and I actually have the whole list of one-on-one questions. I will leave it here as well, just for you to get it. But if you want to get more details into how I schedule the one-on-ones and what exactly, how I structure it, watch that previous episode. We'll try to link it here as well so you can find it easily. But the idea is that there's a lot of areas that you can address. And what I like to do in my team, I like to give some questions ahead of time to my virtual assistant. So it's a Google form, so they complete it, and then we discuss them the next day. So we already have a basis of discussion the next day. And the reason they complete it is because those are some questions that cannot be answered on the spot. They actually have to sit down and think. For example, one of those questions can be, what kind of feedback do you have for me as a manager? What do you need from me to make it better for you? Or something like, in what way do you think your current position is not supporting your goals? Or what other skills do you have that you would like to contribute to, but because of your current role, you're not given a chance to practice those skills? What else would you have liked to do? I have those questions. I give to my virtual assistant. They think about it. I usually get very profound answers. And then the next day we sit down and we discuss it, and we go granular. We go deeper, not just surface level, but we go deeper. And I tell my people, look, everything you share is confidential. This is not recorded. And I want you to be honest. Your job is not in jeopardy. I just want you to be honest with me because I want this to work. So that's it. Usually this is what I love. And again, it takes me once a quarter, but these are my favorite meetings that I have with my team because I uncovered so much about them and they trust me more as well. So it's so important when you run a business. So there you have it. These are the 3 types of meetings. Like you say, do not overwhelm your team with a ton of meetings. You don't have to have a meeting for every single issue. You don't have to have a meeting with, everything. If something can be done by email, send an email. If you can send a Loom video with instructions, send a Loom video with instructions. You don't have to distract your team for every little thing with a meeting. But these 3, we try to keep them all the time. Like the daily huddle, which right now, since my VAs have been with me for years, we just do it once a week because, like I said, everybody already knows their role. But daily huddle, weekly meetings when you go granular, KPIs, issues, ideas, all that. And then quarterly to get to know them personally. Do these 3 and you will understand for a fact whether that person is aligned with you culturally, if you like them personally, if they are moving the needle for your company because you're reviewing the KPIs. The more you know them, the better. So super important. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you got a lot of good value out of today's episode. And as always, let me know in the comments what else you'd like me to discuss because I can talk about this forever and I'm not joking. So I don't know what you want. I don't know where you are on this journey, but I'm always happy to help. So just let me know how I can do that. Thank you so much, everyone. Talk to you soon.